6:30. Somebody want to lead the pledge for those who would like to do it?
I sure will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Every time I do that, I say
I will call to order this meeting of the Nottingham Planning Board, Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026 at 6:30 PM, and we're in the Town Office Building, Meeting Room 1. Our first order of business on the agenda is the consideration to appoint a planning board member. We have somebody who is interested in taking one of the 2 vacant seats that we have on the board right now. If you would like to, I assume that's you, Carrie? Yes, if you'd like to come up here introduce yourself and let the board ask you some questions if they like.
Sure, I think you all have my, resume, I guess, or kind of experience. So I was in finance for 25 plus years, concentrated on construction, lending, that moved over into director of housing development for a local nonprofit where I developed affordable housing for seniors and those at risk of becoming homeless. Did that until funding ran dry, and then I retired.
Great, thank you.
And you'll see I have other board experience for the Habitat, and also for, most notably for this board would be the Seacoast Workforce Housing Coalition, where we work a lot with planning departments on zoning or planning changes, or helping them follow the master plan.
Excellent. Does the board have questions for Carrie?
I don't. I think she'd be a great choice.
Skip and I have known each other for a long time, so it might be a little biased.
Sounds pretty qualified.
I guess I've got one question that's a little kind of general. Our master plan puts an emphasis on maintaining the rural character of the town, right?
Mhm.
And that's means something different to everybody. What does rural character mean to you?
Sure, so I'll give you, first thing that comes to mind is I'm Romeo. I don't know if all of you are familiar, I know you know his property at the top of the square, Nottingham Square. He owns the big, huge green farmhouse that's up there. And I always look at that and think it would be really hard for a single family to come in and own something like that. So for me, when I look at something like that, I think I want to keep that farm. I want to keep it the way it looks. I want to keep those outbuildings that it currently has, but maybe in the future we could add housing into those. So we're keeping that rural character, keeping the land, keeping the buildings, but allowing somebody to keep to live there, to enjoy our community, enjoy it the way we enjoy it with those open fields on that property. So that's one of the things I look at. And I know we have a local developer or contractor who's done that. He did that on Hall Road. There's a farmhouse that he did that with. He's been maintaining the character on that. And then the one past the farmhouse, the post office. What was the store there? I would always see you on the porch. Yeah, at Demers. That farmhouse that's just past that. So to me, that's keeping Nottingham's rural character, is just keep it so that it looks like we want it to look. Yeah. Farmhouses and country.
That building's now 4 units, but
Yep.
the barn and the house structure remains, so.
Yep. But you couldn't tell it by looking. Those are the ones I want to look at. It's like I want to look at it and think that it's just a farmhouse and there's somebody that's living there, one family. Yeah.
I don't know how affordable it is.
No, probably not.
Any other questions from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mr. George as a member to fill one of the vacant seats.
I'll second.
I just realized, sorry, let me,
You got a seat skip for.
yes, right.
okay.
Skip, I'll seat you for the
Somebody.
other empty vacant seat.
Okay,
Chris said he might be here, might not, probably not though. So I'll seat you for the empty one. Okay, back to the motion. Did somebody did you make that motion?
I thought you just made the.
I was,
can't make
I was
motions.
I can make motions,
Entertaining
but I was
the
just,
thought of
as the
one.
chair, I prefer if others make the motions so that it doesn't look like I'm, you know.
I'll second.
Yep. I'll make, that motion is
Okay.
made to accept her as a member of the planning board to fill one of the vacant seats.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Ryan and a second by Mr. Severns. Any further discussion?
Done by me.
Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. That carries unanimously.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the board. So you can feel free to come sit up here, but you wouldn't be able to vote yet because you need to be sworn in and we don't have anybody here who's able to do that at this
Sure.
time, so.
I think you already have a little nameplate.
Yeah, you've got
I
a
saw that
binder,
over
you've got a regulation land use book,
Come on now.
all your homework.
You're ready to go anyways. We're getting voted out.
And welcome to the board and thank you for volunteering.
I'm not the newest member anymore.
That's right. Right.
Well seasoned.
Okay, I forgot to do this as well before seating Skip, but let's just go around the room and introduce ourselves now that we have a fuller board. I'll start with Skip.
Skip Severns, alternate.
Carrie to George. Board member.
Andrew Lichtenwalder.
Drew Stevens, Chair.
Danny Arsenal, Vice Chair.
Adam Ryan, Select Rep.
Blair Haney, SRPC.
Lindsay Stickney, Land Use Coordinator.
Thank you, everybody. We do not have any public hearings today, so we will move on to the public comment period. If there is anybody from the public wishing to speak in general to the board, feel free to come up and do so. All right, seeing none, public comment was opened at 6:37 and closed at 6:37. On to other business. We have a review of voluntary merger for 10 Pine Street, map number 1, lots 143, 149, and 150. I believe we should have that in the other case / other part of your binder. Are you the, okay. If you wouldn't mind just coming up and stating your name and address.
And then cases.
Vince Kearns, 10 Pine Street.
Okay, thank you. So Blair, I haven't done a voluntary merger before. What's our procedure here? Is there anything we need to do due diligence wise?
Yeah, I think so. The applicant is asking to merge 3 lots. One is on the lake side of Pine Street and then 2 are on the other side. One on the lake side has a house, the other 2 are vacant.
No, correct.
No? Backwards?
There is one lakeside, the one behind it has a garage. And it's kind of like a big backwards L. So abutting my driveway, I bought the piece of land on this side. There's nothing there, it's not buildable. It's just a piece of land. I only bought it because it abutted my driveway. Beside that, my driveway is where the garage is at. So blank piece of land, garage, house in front.
So 143 does not have a house on it? The lakeside one?
I'm confused on 143, I'm sorry.
So this is what the town's tax rate shows. So 143.
That has a house on, there's a garage there. And this is the piece that I bought, right there. Right now, were never merged as far as I know. There's a driveway right here. Only the house is lakeside. The garage is behind it, actually, so the house must be there. And over here is just non-buildable lot.
So the application says 149, 150, and 143.
Okay, so okay, I'm sorry. So that is the house lot right there. That's the garage, and this is the rest of it.
So that structure thing is on 149,
Correct.
and then 150 is the other one?
Yeah, 150, I believe it was 151, 152, I think it was all the way here, it was all of these.
Okay, so you own everything down,
Yeah.
whatever this road is?
Yes, that's Pine Street, actually.
Alright, so we're gonna have to continue this one just to get these things sorted out. We also, the board will make the decision whether to continue or not. It does, so do you think that you have 3 lots, or do you think you have more than 3 lots?
I have 3 lots, those ones, unfortunately, on this lake, in this area, everything's chopped up in a
Oh,
tiny
yeah,
little.
yeah.
It makes no sense, cause you couldn't do anything with all those little pieces anyway.
Yeah,
But when I bought it, I was shown there was more than one piece.
okay.
Like it's tiny little chunks, it's one piece, but it's like lot.
Sure,
Even
yeah.
the house originally was on multiple lots, and the garage is on multiple lots.
Sure.
But the house is now on one, the garage is on another, and that other piece is on one. But they list them as 150, 40, as you see.
So I guess making sure that we get it clear what it is he's asking for and what we're approving is gonna, might take a little more due diligence on everybody's part, the applicants and as well as the board. There's also the question and concern about merging lots that are on both 2 sides of a road, that are bisected by a road.
They're not actually on the road is behind all the property.
I mean, the town is showing a road, Pine Street,
This is actually,
Yeah,
so like we're showing this is Pine Street.
that doesn't even exist anymore. This is Pine Street.
Yeah, it's in there.
This land was supposedly, what I was told when I originally bought the house, this land behind was given
Yeah,
and made into Pine Street. This is nothing, it's just access. Cause there's
So-
a house here, a house here, after access to get to their home.
Blair, I'm looking at the online tax map and it does show Pine Street being behind that one that goes into the
Yes.
properties. I know this has penciled in Pine Street, but this one back here is what the tax maps say Pine Street
Yeah, the
is.
one behind, which, it used to be Union, I think.
Yeah.
They actually made that into Pine Street. The one in front of, that separates the garage and the house, that's just access. That's all it is. There's no road there. It just ends. It used to go through all the properties, but the land behind all these properties was given so they could make a road there.
So these just roads on paper, they're not,
Right. This is the only actual road.
alright, so this is just a drawn on here.
Yeah.
And
Cause there's
you-
a
you
house
actually
there.
have
We
five-
have a
five lots.
1930, I mean, Skip's got like a
Uh-huh.
1932 map that shows it as a road.
Yeah, this road
it
used to,
discontinued?
you have the old roads, it goes like this, straight
Well,
through.
if it's
This,
not,
this was actually given away, this piece was given, so this could be made into Pine Street. This is just access to get to this house, get to this house, get to this house,
well, at
that's
that
all.
point, he would own right through it, and if there's no road there that we're responsible, wouldn't it behoove us to let that happen then?
Yeah, there's,
Yeah.
nobody's responsible for this, nobody's responsible for this either, this is a private road too.
I
Because you
think
guys
I-
don't maintain this.
We need something more than this to be comfortable doing that. Because we show it as it's shown as on a recorded plat
Mhm.
as a road.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be the superseding thing
yeah,
over
that's,
anything.
that's what I was told, this is only access to this, cause it used to, this and this used to connect. I have all the maps, go all the way back, cause I was given to him by this guy.
Well, I
This
think
all
we need to
connects.
see that if the road was discontinued at some point or something like that,
Supposedly
we need to see
because
that.
I was told by these people that this was actually given to make this road so everybody could get to their place. This road has to be there, or this, it's just basically so they can get to their house, they can get to their house. It's the only way they can get to their house. These people.
Right.
But there's not, it just ends.
So which ones are yours?
This one, this one, this one,
43.
like this corner.
Alright, so you're the landlord of these houses that are on there, is what you're saying.
No. This one and this one are separate.
Oh, okay, I thought you were showing me those
Yeah,
houses in there too.
yeah, they
What
have
in
to
the
come
world?
up here to get to their home, this guy has to come here to get to his house. This is actually,
You have to bring this car in.
yeah, this is all weird. This is actually,
Is this, I apologize, I'm saying, Blair, is this our responsibility to make this map?
Yeah, I mean, those are the town's tax maps.
That's what happens with these.
This is actually Rosier Drive up here.
You got hundreds of years of development now.
Yeah, right.
So
Well,
this,
so
this
like
is
what-
actually Rosier Drive, this is Pine Street,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
this. Pine Street starts here. This would be Water, one of these is Water, this is Water Street, this is
What-
Rosier, that's Pine Street. Pine Street actually starts here. And this, I believe, should be Water Street then.
Water Street comes in from the 171 area. From,
Yeah, cause this is,
Cooper Hill Road.
this is Rosier.
Okay.
that's Water Street.
No, that's actually private. This belongs to this guy. But there's a boat launch right here.
So how do you access your lots?
Is this, what, is this Pawtucket?
No, this is, North River Lake. I'll show you, sorry.
No, that's fine.
No,
Do you
it's
come
my
in
fault.
from 149 and 150?
Yes, because 149, 150, yes, because I put a road in there. Or right between the garages, there's a road that goes in there. The guy that before me put in there, because he bought that piece of land, he put a driveway there. So between 149, 150, there's a driveway.
So 151 and 152 show no ownership in the town's tax records. It just shows it's just.
Yeah, when I bought all this piece. It shows it at one from what I bought. It shows it as one, but you guys listed it as 150.
So looking at the tax card for lot 150, it says includes lot number 151 and 152.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it does, and that's, my property is split into two lots and only one of them has info on it, and that says also has lot 112
Yeah, the whole piece
on
of
mine,
property.
so it's a thing that happens.
Okay.
Don't know why.
You could put tents on these, that's about it.
Right.
The
Well,
lot
they're
one
intended to be
forty-six.
tents.
So are you then only looking to merge 143, 149, and 150, or are you looking to merge
All of it.
all of it?
Well, what would, since 150, 150, you consider 152, 153, when I just merged the whole thing, everything, because it's one piece, that's one piece.
Well, I mean, yes, if that's what you're trying to do, then that totally makes sense, but on this, on the merger here, it only is showing that you wanna merge 3 existing parcels.
Right.
So even though the tax map says on 150 that it also includes 151 and 152, on this application, you need to specify that because they are still split into those separate lots.
Oh, I misunderstood, when I actually bought it, they listed it as one piece.
Yeah, the way things are listed and the way things are on tax maps and everything else can be a little bit different. But in this case, if you're trying to merge all of the lots that you own, you'd want to make sure to capture 151 and 152 as well, if that's your intent.
And I'm gonna ask just a strange question, because I was asked by the people that actually own in front of that. If you,
141 you talking about?
yeah, 140 actually,
Okay.
wanted to buy this somewhere down the line. I'm not selling it to him right now, but he said somewhere down, if I ever sold, he wants these 2 pieces.
Well, you'd have to
Well, then
redo it all then.
you'd want to not
Yeah.
probably merge them, but that's up to you, that we can't really give
It sounds like these are the only ones you want.
that type of advice.
These here.
I mean, I would be fine with that, but I was told also too, if I don't merge them, then I end up with all these tax bills. And that's why I have such high taxes, because I haven't merged them.
Does that equate that way? It shouldn't change anything.
Well, the weird
It
thing
goes
is,
by the acre,
this,
not the
well, this
lots.
is also listed as retail or residential, and you can't build on this. It's an unbuildable lot. You can't do anything with it. There's a swamp area here.
Yeah.
I'm behind 2 other houses. This land is actually between 2 other houses.
I
You
mean,
can't, you really can't do anything with it. I was told that when I bought it. You cannot build on it. You can't do anything with it.
well, with a variance, you can do anything.
It's gonna be tricky to do something.
It's zoned residential, it's deemed unbuildable because zoning doesn't, requires more land.
Yeah, you can't.
So, there's different things in play here. There's the reality of what is recognized on the ground by virtue of recorded deeds and plats and plans. There's the assessor's maps, which don't carry as much weight except for the purposes of assessing values to assess taxes. They do their best job to keep it up to date, but registry of deeds stuff is kind of the superseding documents, if you will. And the plan that Skip pulled up shows a road there, and if a road is there, even if it's just used as an access, it's still recognized as a road, and then we run into the issue of merging lots across a road.
And you're not merging lots across the road.
But we are though, because if the road is there and you're merging 143 with 149,
When he says road, he means right of way or something. that
Yeah, but doesn't a
indicates-
right of way end at your home? That old road it goes to, there's a
was
house
a-
here, there's a house here, and then there's my house.
But-
That's how, yeah, it
but
used to be
here's-
accessed.
Here's the old plan, all right, so
it's the
there's a
same thing
bunch
as
of
what's on the
lots
assessor.
Yeah.
that these would access, all right? This is the road,
Click on.
this is the right of way.
Yes, the right of way only goes to these two houses in my house, and I built a road here.
No, no, what I'm saying to you is, on this plan, the right of way goes on.
There.
It does, but
Literally in physical
this road
life.
doesn't even exist.
Well,
There's
no,
nothing there.
Get road.
Does
Right
it
of way.
make sense
Oh,
that?
okay, there's nothing there with
to
trees.
If
hide?
it's a
Defined
private
right of way.
road, you go into
It's
the
just
center
the way
line of
it's
it,
termed,
Yeah.
right?
So this.
If it's a
somehow or
discontinued
another,
They're not
this
that
has
You know,
to disappear.
there's a difference between
Well, I
no
mean,
longer
just-
used and
it's just
discontinued officially, right? If that
In order
road
for that
shows
to
up.
happen,
How do you go about that?
Doesn't matter
That
what
means
the
it was,
there,
it's a road,
Right, like
you
it
know,
ends
as far as I
on the
understand. And so the town would have had to
And it shows
discontinue
on
it
there, it
like,
just ends.
like
It's
Old
just-
Guile Road
it's
that
a
goes
road
to here,
to
right? That was
Pine
discontinued.
Street actually goes a road.
We don't care
The,
about that.
voters,
You see what-
it has to go
Right,
to warrant.
right, right.
All I'm saying is,
as
we're just.
far as I understand.
We got several conversations
Yeah.
going on right now.
Can we bring it back to a single conversation just so we can all stay on track?
That helps, thank you.
That's called
So,
shadowing.
A
I have a
road
whole bunch of
can-
these maps like
Yeah,
this thick.
A road can exist on paper and be a paper street. It never got built, but it was an approved subdivision by a planning board many
back,
moons
yeah.
ago. And it can be viewed as a paper street. But it does exist. And it does sound like it does physically exist in that people are driving on it. So for all intents and purposes,
Well, nobody drives on the whole thing,
it
there's,
doesn't, again, it's a
Right.
matter of what's recorded. There is a process to discontinue a road and take it out of being a road, and then everybody's lot line now goes to where the center is, or whatever people agree upon. The question becomes, can the town approve a merger across a road? And we've had, gentleman in the back there dealt with a lot of this, because roads that were down by the lake that were then gonna be accepted by the town were bisecting his land, and I wasn't here for it, but my understanding of this history, it was caused a lot of question. And for those of you that are on the board with Ed, he stuck to this legal interpretation that the town was given guidance to not do that. He sent me 5 emails today from prior legal guidance that were of a similar nature. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. I would think that is where we would start. I think you might wanna do a little digging into the deeds and records.
yeah, I know for a fact that, like it's showing right here, I have that too. And then you're showing on your map, it ends here.
Yep.
And I have that too, so somewhere along the line, somebody took a chunk of that out. And the actual Pine Street now goes around, so if somebody took a chunk out of that, it can be done.
Yeah, what I'm saying is there is a process to decommission, decontinue a road. That is something that can happen. I don't know if that's what happened in that
No, it
instance.
had to, because now their 2 pieces of land, the people beside me, their 2 pieces of land is 1 piece of land, cause it shows it on your map, the one you were showing me.
But again, this map is just for assessment purposes. It's just to assess a tax record. It's to assess a value, and then that value creates your tax bill. But it's for the assessing of values. It doesn't carry the legal weight that a recorded deed or recorded plat like his does. So for all intents and purposes, this could be incorrect in that road technically still exists, right? It could be that case, and an assessor at some other time, I don't know.
Could we clear one thing up from, I mean, it sounds to me that the main reason you wanna do this is to think, you're under the impression that you'd save money on taxes by doing
I
this.
was told that by the assessor.
Can we clear that up? And maybe this could save everyone a lot of legwork if that's not true.
What, that it would save him money?
Yeah.
Of course it would.
Oh, it does? So merging them does save you money on taxes?
Well, because there's probably a base dollar amount for a lot, and then based on size, that dollar amount goes up.
Oh, so, okay.
So, is what I'm guessing, because he was advised by the assessor
Yeah.
consultant, not Nancy, but the.
Yeah,
Right,
Okay.
we have that in our
Yeah.
case file.
So he said it, I have to go with what that guy's saying, and if I was to tease that out in my own head, I'm guessing a lot, whether it's 1,000 square feet or 100,000 square feet, has a base dollar, and then that number goes up based on size.
Sounds like we're all stuck in the mess then.
Yeah. One thing that I was thinking on my drive over here is that if for some reason, not some reason, but if we were to come to the conclusion that the town cannot merge lots across a road, you still have lots that are next to each other on the same side of the road that you could merge.
True.
So you could get some relief, so you wouldn't walk away with nothing. The question becomes is how far can we go with this?
alright.
And I don't feel like the board has that answer right now. So,
Right.
I think there's a reason to continue, I think there's a reason for everybody to do a little bit of digging. Starting with, what some of that legal guidance is that and I'll forward that all,
Yeah, please
I'll
do.
put it all into a single email and send it all to you guys, to look at.
It also appears that his deeds, and I didn't make copies of them because I didn't figure that out at the time, but I think his deeds indicate his lots are next to a road. But I don't know which lot I was looking at the time to know if the road was let's call it the upper road,
Yeah.
okay, that you access from, or the middle road, depending upon which ones I was looking at. So that's another thing. What did you actually buy with your deed? If you have your deed, that would be good.
Yeah, I see that the deeds are listed on the,
Yeah, one of them you can't get at the registry.
right. So it would be helpful if you were able to get those and send those as well to the board so that we could review them and understand a little bit better what the situation is of this street and these parcels. Cause right now there are too many questions here for us to act on anything. And I think we're gonna need a little bit more information, maybe a lot more information.
Yeah, it is an odd thing, cause everything happened years and years and years and
Yeah,
years
right,
ago.
right.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
why the registry is the key thing, because that's been around since the dawn of time. Right?
Yeah.
That, like, the breaking up of land and stuff is just always been recorded, so.
Where did the Pine Street that exists now come from?
So, Kevin can tell you, I mean, a lot of times these are just old informal roads these are old camps, a lot of them weren't even livable year round, so people just sort of made things up, and as your town is maturing,
People gave this land so there'd be a road there, and everybody could get.
There's also like that sort of like historical word of mouth down the
Yeah, yeah.
towns, right? What one person calls a road, another person calls an access, another person calls a driveway. But it is something, and three different people might use three different words for it. So a road is a specific thing, a driveway is another thing, and access really isn't a thing. I guess you could say an access over, so like an easement is a thing, an access easement, but
But that would be recorded in the deed.
Again,
or
yeah,
the
that would be
registry of deeds,
recorded.
right? So
and that
there'd
would
be a
have,
history of that.
limited rights, you
Right.
can only do so many things with it, but.
The deed that I found for 143, which I think is your latest one, is book, 5560. Need a pen? 5560, page 2669.
Page again, I'm sorry.
2669. And the
I probably have
plan,
it somewhere,
that
but-
plan number is Plan 0763 from 1933.
And if it gets too complicated, you can seek, legal help with this stuff too. I don't know exactly who does that, but there are people who will look through these deeds, figure out what the deal is for you, and then give you a more concise and put together idea of what the history of the properties are and
Yeah, I was trying to
any
make this
road.
less confusing and.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah,
Figured having
and not
one
cost you
piece-
money.
One
Yeah.
piece would
Yeah,
be simpler,
right.
I was advised by, like I said, the tax assessor to actually do this.
There are people at the registry that do like forensic investigations. They're not, some of them are lawyers, some of them are not. They're just good at research and they can kind of come back and give you, yeah, that historical story. But
Worst or best case scenario, I guess, would be that the property on one side gets merged and the other property doesn't, that's the worst case scenario.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I think you still can get some relief. You just might not be able to get all of it. That's the easiest thing, because that we can,
I think that was my biggest actual complaint was the piece of land that's, you can't do anything with, is the biggest problem for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you can't do anything with it and the taxes on it crazy, it's a piece of land you can't do anything with. I only bought it so somebody can't park a trailer on it.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to,
Yeah.
but you know how that goes.
yeah. When you get do you get 3 tax
Get
bills?
3 tax bills.
Okay, so 151 and 152 are not mentioned in the tax bills, is that correct?
They actually are.
They would
said
be on
that.
the tax bill for
It said
150 since it
Okay.
says
I never
that.
noticed it. I thought they were one piece, that it became, when I bought it, it became one piece, cause I think I just looked at 150 as,
Right.
but you're probably right, it's still probably 3 different pieces.
Yeah, I get one tax bill, but it has my 2 lots on it
reference to that.
because one of them is absorbed. And I think it was an involuntary merger that happened at a certain point. I haven't dug into it for my own case.
And I think that's what happened here too. These were all involuntary.
Yeah,
But I believe what was this, the guy that actually sold it to me had him, it happened a long, long time ago. So he had to come to the town and actually have that piece separated from his piece to sell it to me. Cause when he sold it, like he was moving, I said, if you ever move, I would like that piece of land. And he goes, okay. That's what he did.
I think it was 1984 or something like that.
That sounds about right, if I
They did
remember, yeah.
the state changed the rules and then everybody went. But when you come back, if you're doing that, I do 149, 150, 151, and 152, just to clean the whole thing up. Unless the guy that wants 152,
I don't,
come to a deal.
it would never happen unless I leave.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it as is, because I know why they want it. They're gonna chop trees down and park cars there.
once you,
So I'm
once you
gonna just leave
merge
it
them,
as
it's gonna
is.
be a lot more difficult to slice off a piece, just,
I, you're right, because you don't have enough frontage or area to actually get a subdivision approved. But also, it sounds like they're kind of already merged into 150 if he's getting a single
That's what I
tax
was
bill.
told.
well, yeah, that's kind of the
So
weird,
I
if
don't
you
even
look
know
at
if that option
143, 143 obviously was merged with 142 at one point.
Yeah.
Right, because, and possibly 144, it's hard to say. So
was told.
that happened, and that's the same with mine. My property used to be 3 lots. 2 of them got merged, but the other one still exists in the tax maps, but I only get one bill for the historically 3 lots.
Well, that's what Lenny Price, the guy that actually owned it, told me. He says that he had bought that piece of land behind him, and at some point it got merged, and he didn't even know it got merged. So
Yeah.
when he told me he had to come to town, you guys, and have this piece and this piece separated. So from when I bought it, it says at 151, 152, all of those are one piece.
Yeah,
Lot 143 includes 144 and 145.
okay.
I
That's-
can't tell you much about, that's what the card says.
It probably is, cause that's what the garage is sitting on the other 2 pieces, I believe.
That's on 149-ish.
Okay, so maybe the front is,
It might be a property line issue, but
there's a whole bunch of like pieces
I
and
know.
pieces and
So do
pieces
I.
and pieces.
yeah.
Cause I got them way back, I got maps that the original one gave me way back then, and they're chopped up in little tiny.
So I don't know what the difference, if 144 and 145 are part of 143, what made that happen differently from 149, 150, and 151?
They were bought at separate times.
Well, They were either involuntary merged.
Well,
or they
probably
were-
the one where the house is was probably involuntary merged or merged when he bought it. He bought the piece behind much years later. I don't remember the exact year, but I have that stuff.
But the buying doesn't have much to do with it, it's a government thing.
All right, I think we probably ought to continue this case so that we can get more info on it and so that the applicant can also take some time to figure out the best path forward.
Yeah, I would recommend trying to track down some of your deeds and see if you can find.
I have all the stuff for 150, 151 and try the stuff when I bought the house and the garage.
Yeah, they probably all reference other deeds.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
they
you
do,
can kinda
yes.
just, keep tracing it back and until you can find something that's quite definitive. Because the town here is gonna look on our end to see what they have, also figure out the ability to merge across the road. And
Well, if 149, 150, cause that is definitely one piece.
Yeah, if you decided that all you wanted to leave 143 out and just do 149 through 152, that would be a much more straightforward thing on our end because we wouldn't have the issue of this road that shows up in between all those parcels.
Okay.
And also, if you do decide to do the 149 through 152, you should make sure that the voluntary merger application does state all 4 of those parcels, even though 150 says it contains
Yeah,
151,
my paperwork
152.
definitely says
It
that's
just makes
one
it
piece.
cleaner, yeah,
Okay.
right, just make sure that's in there.
When I
so
look
it's
it up,
clear.
it still only shows 150, all of those is one, under one page number, all that stuff. It don't-
Well, for us, this is a voluntary merger for these tax
So I just
parcels,
have to
right? And
list-
since the
okay,
tax
so I
map
just
is
have to
showing
list
them as
150,
4,
150.
you would want to make sure your voluntary merger to merge those tax parcels
Okay.
included all 4 of those, if that's the.
Cause I don't have a separate page and whatever for all
That's right,
the
yeah.
pieces, cause they're one, it lists them
Yeah,
all.
even though that says that on whatever how it was sold to, whatever, the voluntary merger is for the taxable parcels, right? And
Okay.
so since it shows up as 4 different ones, you just wanna make sure to list those on the voluntary
Okay,
merger
okay.
so that they're properly captured. So if we continue this case, when would you like to come back before the board? We meet, you could do a month and come back May 27th. Or actually, yeah, if we continue the case, they don't have to get it in before the application deadline, right? It's just 10 days before okay.
Yeah, it's already on the agenda, so.
Yeah, okay. We also meet May 13th, but that might be
Not enough
too
time.
redacted.
I don't know.
I would say the 27th,
Yeah.
because it doesn't sound like you're under the gun to get this done, if it's for tax reasons, it's just, you gotta get it done by the.
I just think
By the
I
first
thought it
of
would
the
be
year.
simpler just to get one tax bill and everything is one piece and we just.
Government doesn't.
Makes sense, yeah, makes sense.
We're not in this simple business.
Nope.
So,
Okay.
May 27th?
Yes.
Okay, at 6:30
Is that
PM.
do you know what date? Is it Thursday?
We meet on Wednesdays, the
Oh, I'm
second
sorry.
and fourth Wednesday, so that would be May 27th at 6:30 PM in this room.
30, okay. Put it in my phone, it'll be real.
So, entertain a motion to continue this case?
I'll make a motion to continue,
It doesn't have a application number yet.
the review of voluntary merger for 10 Pine Street, map 1, lots 143, 149, 150, to May 27th at 6:30.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Severns and a second by Mr. Mr. Ryan, sorry. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Skip? All those, okay, that was unanimous, that carries. Okay, this case is continued. We'll see you again on the 27th of
Thank you for your
May.
time.
Thank you.
Okay, next up under other business is to appoint 2 planning board members to be a part of the subdivision process organization workshop that our building inspector and code enforcement officer Dale Sylvia came in to talk to us about a couple meetings ago. That workshop is scheduled for May 12th at 9 a.m. at the town hall. I believe that's a Tuesday, May 12th at 9 a.m. Here at the town hall. There were, I think, a couple members who are interested in doing that.
I was, Skip was gonna do it, makes most sense, he's pretty well seasoned. I was gonna do it, but I'm not sure if there was a conflict. John Decker had mentioned, cause he's gonna do it for the select board. So
I don't think there would be a conflict, that wouldn't be a quorum.
count me
of
in, if there is one, I'll just resign. It's as simple as
I
that.
think it would be just more of an issue of having 2 select board members. Does that,
You need 3 for a quorum.
3 for a quorum?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got a
Then-
5-member select board,
Oh,
so.
right, I keep thinking it's 3. Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, Skip, are you
Yeah.
good with that? Okay, so I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Ryan and Mr. Severns to represent the planning board as part of that workshop as stated on May 12th at 9 a.m. here in the town hall.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are there any more than 2 that are allowed to go to that, or is it just 2?
I think at the last, when this was discussed, there was interest from a 3rd member, but we thought that having 3 members of the planning board might be a bit overrepresented.
Okay.
But if the rest of the board thinks that that's fine, this is a subdivision process organization that we
Let's
are
say if anything,
involved in,
if
so
there's gonna be the most of anything, it should be the planning board members there, wouldn't it? The subdivision.
as long as there aren't 4 of them to make a quorum.
Be an alternate.
I would love to attend if there's room, if anybody can't go.
I'm never one to say no to a volunteer.
Okay, I will amend my motion to also appoint Mr. George to as a planning board member to join that workshop. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, a second by Mr. Arsenal. Any further discussion on that amended motion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, none? All right, that motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, on to member updates. Mr. Severns.
I have nothing.
All right.
I'll allow someone else to have something.
Mr. George, do you have anything you'd like to update the board on? Welcome again.
I have nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna say I have nothing right now too, Mr. Arsenal.
Pass.
As far as the select board goes, I guess everyone's well aware, we got the grader for the highway department. It seems like we're okay to have the beach opened, but there may be a hiccup, I don't wanna comment too much on it, but as far as now, it seems like the beach is gonna be opened. We're opting to get an electric gate, so that we don't have to worry too much about people opening it and closing it in the morning. We're getting estimates on that, it seems like it's really gonna happen, which is great. If not, we have plenty of a few volunteers that are willing to open and close it. As of now, we have 1 tenant for the beach. I believe it's the same girl as last year. And that's about it.
All right, thank you. Blair?
Yeah, excuse me. So, this is just like an FYI that it may be coming down the road, it's hard to understand, but like, the FEMA has moved into a public review stage of the updated maps for your area, what would include your community. You are part of Rockingham County, and they're doing it differently this time around, they're actually trying to do it by watershed and stuff, so it grabs parts of different counties, but your section has moved its way through the process a little bit. But my understanding is that they're actually now pulling that back. We were given an update by the state about a month ago, just about new maps and what to expect and the process of everything, of how new maps come to be. It wasn't specific to your community or Rockingham County, it was just more broad, but they did talk about yours. So it's just sort of an FYI that we might be getting new maps at some point in the next year, and then we'd have to adopt them and stuff. For those of you that are not intimately familiar with the zoning ordinance, the FEMA maps are adopted as a part of the zoning ordinance. It's not only the maps, it's actually the flood insurance study. So they're called FIRMs, flood insurance rate maps. And then the FIS is the flood insurance study, and the FIS is all the data that creates the maps. It tells you what your baseline flood elevation is. It tells you what your elevations are for potential 100-year floods and 500-year floods and stuff like that. So, and you have various designations on a flood map. You have areas of no concern, you have areas of potential flood, and they're given letters. So they are you do adopt them as part of your regulation documents, your zoning ordinance, and then there are some performance standards. So if you are in a flood zone, there are some basic performance standards. The town can make them more stringent, but you have to meet certain minimum. Otherwise, it becomes either impossible or very difficult for your community, for members of your community that want to get flood insurance. You know, it becomes either impossible or very difficult to actually get it. So,
Is the adoption of those maps, it would be a warrant article since it's zoning?
it is. I got told that you cannot, this is a rare instance where you cannot just say as amended and just sort of capture updates, because it's actually an entirely new document. They're actually not amending a previous document. They're creating it's almost like starting from new. So you can't, that doesn't carry the day. You do have to go through the process of treating it like a new thing, like you've never seen it before, and adopt it as an amendment to your zoning by date. So we are adopting the FEMA firm maps and FIS study dated blah, 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 2027 for the Rockingham County, whatever it is, whatever the title is of the document.
Is there any reason to believe that anything may have changed on those?
It's unlikely, but it's unlikely that anything significant happened, but it might have, some lines might move a little bit, wiggle a little bit. Typically, an area like yours would be in that zone that doesn't have a known base flood elevation, so then they can't really decide what elevations are the flood risk areas. They just kind of, it's basically like, okay, this area, we think the flood elevation would be 1 foot above the base flood elevation. So then they would just sort of find that contour and follow that contour. It's not done to the level of detail that, say, like an area in Florida might be, because they are far more prone to these things. But it is important to just sort of become more aware of this, because whether you want to believe it or not, the climate is changing, and we are seeing different types of weather patterns. Storms that would maybe have a 24-hour duration, we're now seeing like that same amount of intensity over a 12-hour duration. And your stormwater management systems are modeled to handle that 24-hour thing instead of the 12-hour thing. So communities that might have protections in place are still flooding because that happened. I have a lot of experience with it. The community I used to work for 10 years flooded all the time. It's an old industrial area. They filled in all the waterways so the factories could set up next to them and spin the water wheel and run the turbines inside and stuff. And so that place flooded all the time. And we spent years and years doing flood mitigation. But a lot of the modeling to try to predict what's going to happen, is getting more and more difficult for that very reason. So it is good to be aware. You're still fairly undeveloped, but it only takes one culvert under one roadway to not be sized right, get clogged, and you got a big problem upstream from yourself. you have what's called country drainage, your road is crowned, then it just sort of falls into a ditch along the side of the road, and then everybody's driveway has a culvert underneath it. It takes one, homeowner that's not paying attention to leaf and debris buildup to then cause a problem onto the road. So, these things are happening and you need to be aware of that. But, the part that I'm trying to talk about tonight is like the FEMA maps may be coming down the road, so.
Tagging on to that, the Piscataqua Region Estuaries Partnership, who awarded us a grant last year for updating our natural resource inventory, they just released their 2026 grant cycle for their PREPA grants. And they have, for each community in their watershed area, they have recommended action items and that they recommend you apply for a grant to, address some of those action items. And one of the ones for Nottingham is to adopt model stormwater management ordinances or regulations. So that could be something that this board considers applying for a grant for. The way we did the last grant was that Blair applied for us and SRPC did, part of that work as part of the grant. I think that's still how things work, is that right?
Yep.
So we wouldn't have to do any grant writing, it would be Blair, handling that for us, but that could be something that we consider. Maybe we could send that information out to the board, just to let them take a look at it and see if that's something that we'd wanna get help pursuing.
Yeah, that was gonna be the second thing I was gonna discuss, is like that PREPA grant and pursuing something. I think you should. I don't know if you'd be a top candidate for getting that full amount that we did last time, the full 25,000, but if the natural resources study has recommendations, action items that the board or the town then chooses to go apply for to implement, I think that would carry a lot of weight. They like to see that, see that grant, their grant dollars turn into actions that bring about change. And stormwater regs and increase of setbacks for natural resource areas were some of the recommendations. So that might be something that the board would want to consider doing. The grant is due in mid-June. I don't know the exact date, but so you've got a little bit of time, but we do want to get going on it at some point. So maybe in May, it's an agenda item. We've got a few ideas based on what PREPA had recommended, and we can start to see what looks, what the direction of action items coming out of the natural resources chapter might be. So
I also brought it up at the last Conservation Commission meeting, because PREP also really likes it when multiple municipal agencies, are in it together on a grant. So I've asked the Conservation Commission to discuss it at hopefully the next meeting that we have in May, and see, if there's something that they'd like to recommend, and essentially, probably write a letter to this board with what they would, recommend, and then we can hopefully, if we talk about it in May, then we'll have that letter by that time to consider it as well, because that really helps to get that grant money when there are multiple stakeholders involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's sort of like a TBD.
Yeah. Coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else, Blair?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. I know we have some site plan reg stuff to review, but I wanted to ask is, Mr. Bassett, are you here to get something signed? We don't have a particular agenda item, but I don't want to make you sit through us deliberating the site plan regulations and all that if it's not necessary.
Appreciate it. Ellen said that you guys were unsure if you needed to sign, and what are you signing? Should I come up?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind coming up just to let us hear you better.
101 Shore Drive. The topic is tax map 70, lot 25, which is basically behind me. So I bought this piece of property, I did a road survey, and that's submitted at the registry of deeds. that was about the time that, the road's names changed relative to 911 stuff. And part of Lamprey Drive was changed to Channel Street. So, this is that same road survey. It was not signed before, but, Ellen was unsure whether you said you wanted to sign it or not. It's here, for your review. The changes from what it was is that Channel Street is now, allocated properly. And a recent subdivision, 25 and 25-5 was done just a few months ago. And so that is now depicted on this road survey.
So Ellen has indicated that it, getting our signatures would benefit the process in some way.
I don't know how or why, but it does say that you looked at it and signed it. So this is for my benefit. It's unsolicited by planning board or selectmen, and but I'm more than willing to drop off milers. I'm more than willing to drop these off. I don't want to change anything, but just in case you if there is something major wrong, then of course.
I like Channel Road
Wanna
better
make it
than
right.
Street.
Excuse me, what?
Channel Road better than Street. I'm just kidding.
I don't know who changed the road name, so, but anyways.
When you had this board, when you made the request to have a subdivision, it was basically a 2-lot subdivision, right? The one that you just did?
No, it's only one large parcel into two.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
Yes, the net result is 2 lots.
Yep.
Yeah. Did the board sign a Mylar for that you then recorded? Or that somebody recorded? Wouldn't be.
I believe so. I believe so.
The board signed something? And you recorded
I
it?
think we did. I think the surveyor brought it, dropped it off, signed
Okay.
it.
Alan seemed to think that it wasn't signed originally, and that's why she wasn't sure if it should be
She was
signed.
talking about this drawing.
Well, this is like to change the road name, and that's it.
Well, this is a road survey, not a subdivision.
That was the road
Yeah.
creation, if you will,
Yeah,
that he did with the select board, right?
yeah.
And then the subdivision was then possible after that because it was now a road. So.
So this is for the road creation, this has nothing to do with the subdivision.
Great. This is so that I knew what I bought to be,
You can, it's
okay.
But I don't
Oh.
remember if we signed a Mylar for the subdivision.
See, I don't see how, and that's, okay, this is clearing things up. I didn't know that there was 2 things going on. There was a subdivision road, or a subdivision plan.
Yeah.
And a create the road plan.
Right.
I don't see how, if it's a subdivision plan to create a new lot, a registry would have ever accepted it without signatures.
Right.
It's like the one key thing you need to have.
Right.
That a town thing, an entity has signed off on it. So I don't see why they would, but if this
That
is,
doesn't mean it went to the registry.
no, but
I'm
it was
just-
unclear in my email
Quite sure it was
chain.
dropped off, yeah.
When we were talking about this, it was unclear. She said last time they didn't sign it. I'm like,
That's this document.
okay, which is an entirely different it's not a subdivision document.
Correct.
This is what I thought she was talking about. I thought she was talking about subdivision. So that's what made me really concerned that the registry accepted something that wasn't signed. So if this was recorded before, you're changing the name and you're trying to record it again, and last time it wasn't signed and it was accepted by the registry, I would say go forward with that process. Because it sounds like no one ever told you to sign that last one for the road creation. Is what I'm hearing.
All of that went through the select board too, right? That
Right,
wasn't
exactly.
even before this board, so I don't really know why we would have been involved in the signing of the road creation document.
I'm accustomed to road creations coming through this board as part of a subdivision.
Yeah, right.
So Nebo and Connecticut you are signing off on the road creation document. This
Right.
is after the horse kind of thing. And I'm outside my comfort zone on this. But if based on what my understanding is that the last time it was recorded, the road creation document, it did not include your signatures, I would think you would go forward with that same process as last time. But again,
That's why I'm here.
I'm telling you, I don't know much about this road creation stuff.
Same.
So if the registry is accepting it, then I guess that is good enough. So is this gonna basically supersede a previous recording?
Yep.
Because of the road name?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, the other one was a one pager, this is a three pager because of, just adds clarity.
Well, if you go to the registry and they say that you need the signatures, you can always come back here.
Yes, sir.
We love seeing you.
I mean, these,
What is the drawback to signing it though? So what is the drawback to just signing it? So he has it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's, I mean,
I mean,
we could just do that and
If the subdivision's
complain?
already been signed, then there's no issue per se.
right, but
just redundant, but
it'll just be a little
we
easier
could
for him
give
if
some
it's done already.
signatures if that's,
Yeah.
I mean, who's gonna complain? You signed it.
If it hasn't been signed, that's another issue.
subdivision.
You wanna float this around? Nope.
is that the same set?
Oh, you haven't seen it.
I mean, we can all go over there and sign it rather than.
Yeah, it'd be easier over there for sure.
Go ahead. I lived it.
You lived it.
But the surveyor didn't give you any guidance on this either? I mean, cause he's got signature blocks.
Well, that's because Ellen told me that you guys were considering it, so we just put it on there as if you were gonna sign it. So,
Oh,
he just did that in the last day or two, honestly.
Oh, okay, alright.
Down there and then
Yeah.
the cutoff.
This was a subdivision
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
this board,
There's no issue with just signing it. I mean, once, if we
I-
sign the great,
well,
if it's
the
not,
only,
ago,
yeah,
but the
there's no-
street
there really isn't.
was the unknown.
that just makes it a little easier for him.
So there needed to be a survey of the road that was there and get all of that.
Cause it's, everything's been approved already.
This board just handled the subdivision part of
Yeah, they
this
should look
bigger
at it.
lot into the two separate lots.
Yeah, you
Part of the
thought, right,
subdivision.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it, but
So, I don't think you have to sign this paper, I'll bring you back Mylar.
Yeah.
yeah, I think
That's your
this
decision.
board
If
would
if
be
you
fine
want,
signing it if it doesn't, even if it's redundant, then I don't think we're signing anything that we didn't.
already approved.
The thing is, you gotta wait, if you don't have the Mylars here, then you have to, I mean, if you need signatures from the board, I mean, I guess you could drop it off and they could all stop by at some
That's what
point.
Ellen implied, that I could drop it off, you guys sign whenever.
Okay. The other option is you take a Mylar down to the registry and see if they record it. If they do, I would just go with that. Because that's what happened last time. But if you want the signatures, yeah, drop it off and they can.
Jeez,
But if you do it that
I didn't
way-
even think it was my decision, but that,
If you do it that way, you might wanna take off the block that
Yeah.
has the
Yeah.
things.
Well,
so
again,
it's-
the only reason why I said, yeah, they should sign it is because I thought we were talking about the plan that we approved. And if she had said this was a road plan that you didn't sign last time, I would say then, I would have said, no, I don't see any reason why they would sign it. As Ryan said, I don't think there's any harm to it.
Yeah. Drop it if you want. No, you don't want.
Do we,
Yes.
is there a way to tell if it was recorded? Yeah,
Well, yeah, they
Oh, yeah,
recorded
you-
it last time.
yeah, you can look up what's been recorded. I mean, there are, I'll just point to them, but there are some notes there that point to the letter to the planning board from the town attorneys, history kind of notes that got us to this point. I'm hoping this is the last time I come see you nice folks. Not that I don't wanna come back, but this is my last thing that I think I need to do.
I think you're right.
Setting up the kids, and that's what this is, my parting gift.
Just really love your kids.
Well,
It's a lot of work.
three big pieces of property for him, so.
I'm enjoying your son's cat, by the way, Steven.
Yeah?
Yeah, comes over the barn all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's having a good time.
Where, over here?
152. Where,
Ah, yeah, he just moved out of there.
oh, did he?
And
Okay.
the cat's now at the.
So what do you think, Blair?
That's good, cause I haven't seen him the last couple of days.
Yeah.
It's his decision. He can drop it off and leave it with you guys, so you guys can sign it
Okay,
if you want.
yeah, so if you'd like, you can drop off the Mylar and we can sign it, just to make sure you don't have to come back again, type of deal.
So,
Okay.
Kevin? Oh, you know what? When you had that bisecting of the road, what was the end result of all that? Remember when that conversation was having, when, you know, when all this was going down initially, you were like, oh, this is bisecting my property, what happens? Does this create a new lot over here? Do you remember what that was, what that conversation was like?
Yeah, well,
oh, you're talking about the little cut road?
Yeah.
That is no longer shown, it's blocked off and it was not plowed
Oh.
this year, so. That's my septic designer says that might be an optimal spot. So. And, you know, the fact is, Lamprey Drive is now a circle, per se. It's not a needed egress for any of the abutters. They all come out and go left or right to get out of the area, so.
All right, well, thank you, best of luck. Hopefully, it's a straightforward process.
I don't need much more lot, but
Right.
I hope. Thank you.
Okay, I think that I want to move the approval of minutes up, just because I don't know how much longer we want to keep this meeting going, to go into the site plan regulations, aside from maybe having Blair introduce us to, you know, what all we've got before us. So I'm gonna move the approval of minutes in front of that, just so we don't end up backlogging another set of them, because we have 3 before us to approve. So we've got minutes from the April 8th meeting. We have minutes from the March 25th meeting. I don't seem to have.
the board signed his subdivision regs on 9/10/25.
Great. So that T is crossed and I is dotted.
The subdivision.
The subdivision, yes,
Yeah,
but she's saying that the original of this, the lot, or the road layout plan was not signed.
I don't, that's not us.
I was just looking back over the email, oh shit,
I'm sorry.
Put it away, my
I
bad.
just wanted,
I think what she said was,
they may have wanted to sign it.
yeah, she was like, maybe we should correct, add it this time now that we have a chance, a second bite at the apple.
Well, I think what's bad about that particular package is the surveyor combined all of it together.
Uh-huh,
It would have been probably better if he had taken the one sheet, the road, and put it on top of the signed subdivision stuff.
oh, yeah.
That's all.
All right, let's consider these
I'm
minutes.
sorry. Go ahead. Ready for that.
So let's start with the March 25th minutes. They might not be in your packet.
And you can abstain if you like. But you can vote.
I don't see them in here. We have the April 8th and the site walk minutes, but I don't see the ones for,
Sidewalk.
yeah, I do not see the ones for March 25th. I pulled them up online. It was the meeting where we elected officers. So,
What date are you looking for?
March 25th.
That's in the email.
Okay.
It's the third one, well, I don't know how yours is organized, mine's the third one down. Oh, sorry, second one down. They are in here though.
I didn't see anything glaring.
Yeah, I looked through them a while back and didn't see anything that looked off to me.
Where's Glenn when you need him? You missed a comma? How does he do that?
Damn.
What do we think? I mean, if not enough members feel like they're able, have reviewed them and are able to, we could table those minutes and just consider the ones that we actually have printouts of. Or if the members are comfortable accepting them as written, we can do that too.
I'll make a motion to approve as printed, if that helps you.
We have a motion to accept the March 25th draft minutes as written. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Mr. Arsenal seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, we have one abstention. All right, those minutes are accepted. Now on to the April 8th minutes. Those are in your binder under the minutes tab.
Skip, you did the notes on this one, right?
That's the site walk
That's
that
a site walk.
he did the notes on. That'll be the next one we consider.
Alright.
It was a group effort.
April 8th, right now.
One edit that I see is line 255. It should be, would be required to cover the cost of obtaining legal input.
I do have a question. She did a pretty good job of identifying the people that spoke.
Yep.
And and I don't think she, well, she must have attached the sign-in sheet must have been attached when she did these minutes, so she knew the addresses and all that kind of stuff of the people that spoke. That Beth had that info?
No, I don't recall sending that to her.
Okay. She's pretty good at coming up with addresses and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, if you look at line 177, there's a, you know, the name that's spelled there has a SP next to it because I'm assuming the recorder was unsure of the actual spelling.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the handwritten kind of a thing.
Or it could
so-
be a handwriting
Yeah.
thing. Yep, that's very
So-
true.
I'm not real sure my comment, but this seems like way too much information.
Yeah.
It was a lengthy public comment period.
Yes, but
And typically, when somebody does come before the board for public comment, it does include their name, address, and what they, what they express to the board.
Yeah, I thought I remembered seeing the attached attendance list, handwritten attendance list
To meeting minutes?
to the meeting minutes.
I don't know that I've seen
And
that.
so I don't know how best to talk to this, but it seemed like, we have now identified people who seemingly have the capability to come in and say, I didn't say that.
Well, the draft minutes were posted to the website.
Yeah.
Public had a chance to look at those
I'm not
minutes.
suggesting that, I'm just saying that it opens it up to that kind of stuff, and that it seems like, another, the phrase could be another person went to the table to speak on, if the Conservation Commission had been involved, that kind of a thing, rather than identifying specifically the person and the address. This seems more like seconds than minutes. Sorry.
Again, the public hearing was 2 hours long
I know.
for that case, so.
It's just a comment. I don't know what to say about it. I'm not suggesting we take it out here or anything. I just- in the future.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 8th, 2026,
As corrected.
as corrected.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Severns and a second by Mr. Ryan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Yes? Okay. All right, that motion carries. Now on to the site walk minutes for April 15th, 2026. Thank you, Skip and Tracy, for taking those minutes in the absence of our secretary. So one question, line 36, aren't you the land use coordinator?
Good
Tracy?
job.
Land use coordinator is the title now, right? Not land use clerk? All right, so let's amend line 36 to say land use coordinator instead of clerk.
Wow, thank you. How did they do that?
That's why we have a group review them to catch those types of things.
I'm incorrect.
All right, if there are no other edits, I'll entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the site walk dated Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. As is.
That's corrected?
What's been correct? Oh, that's right, the land use, all right, as corrected.
Do we have a second?
Yes. Danny got it.
All right, we've got a motion from Mr. Ryan and a second from Mr. Arsenal. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? One abstention. All right, thank you. We've approved those minutes. So personally, I don't want this meeting to run any longer than 8. Do you think that you could present these, kind of what the site plan regs that were introduce it to us, Blair, so that we have an idea of what we're,
15.
not a second past.
Yeah.
All right,
I can introduce it, I think that'll be good. Before I get started though, you're gonna get a new zoning ordinance because Chris Evans brought something to my attention today. Something that was approved as part of the redlined
Excuse me.
zoning amendments did not get carried into the updated document.
So it got passed as a warrant article, but didn't get updated in the zoning, okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just overlooked. So I corrected it, and in doing that, I saw something else, so I'm gonna just kind of go back through.
Okay,
The other one is just an indent, something that was not indented correctly. So it's more of a it's just a formatting thing, nothing's changed, it's just, it wasn't indented properly. But the other one was, it was a word change, so that's just sort of an FYI. You will get a new one, it'll be posted on the website,
do we have to approve it or go through, okay,
it was just a scrivener's error, it was
Okay.
overlooked, yeah.
gotcha.
No, it was clearly approved by the town. So there's that. Okay, what I talked to Drew about this, what we decided was, let's try to look at subdivision and site plan review regulations. They have been updated since 2015, 2016 respectively. So, you know, we're overdue. We decided to take on some lighter lift type of changes. There are bigger ones that we will need to do. But let's get through the process. Let's get ourselves working through it. We have 2 new members now who haven't done it. We do have a new chair, so I think it's a good place to start. So that is what the goal is going to be, and what we're gonna start with. So
It is in your binders under the other tab, the email that Blair sent out about this, just in case you wanna take a look at that too while Blair is explaining.
cool.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's good. That's good. So it is in front of you. I have it broken into 3 categories. One is, because a lot of the text is the same between site plan review and subdivision. And then there are deviations from it. So sometimes a change will be applicable to both documents. And so I try to create break out the changes into 3 sections. One, changes that are gonna affect both documents, and then changes that will affect individual documents. So hopefully you can see the headings and then understand what that means.
And Blair, these regulations, we, on our end, we just hold a public hearing to change them, and then they can be accepted, right? They don't have to go through a warrant article process like zoning ordinances do, just for the new members to understand that process.
That's correct, yeah. We approve them here. This board is like the keeper of these documents as opposed to the legislative body, the town meeting, which is the zoning ordinance. So the process would be similar, it just wouldn't go the extra step to town meeting. We would have a conversation like this, decide what we wanna do. I would bring you red line changes, and then we would have a hearing on that, and then assuming that there are no changes in the hearing, then it can be accepted. It's the same thing. But it will be a hearing that would have to get advertised, public comment if the public participates, but yes, that's what it would be.
Does each hearing, like each change, each bullet that you have here, would that have to be a separate public hearing that's noticed, or it just can be all in one because we're changing the site plan and subdivision regs? Okay.
Yeah, I would think that each one would wanna be a vote. You could probably do it as a bulk vote, but no, it's just like the zoning. Remember, I would come in with a lot of changes and we would only have one hearing.
Okay,
And some of it would get through without any changes, so that can sort of move on to the town warrant, but the ones that had changes, we had to do another planning board hearing. So I think it would be that same process, just without the extra step of going to the warrant and town meeting. Alright, so getting into this, you can see that, land use clerk to land use coordinator. There was a change to, there's a lot of lists, does the board want to remove and keep the list on the application forms? does the board wanna pull out language about forms that are in the regulations? Because then we have to jump to this hoop if we ever wanna change the forms again, right? Like, we have to treat it like it's this thing. Maybe we, we could just have like a guidance document that is just sort of an informal document about how we do our forms. You could pull it out altogether. But if not, we should make some changes, because I think the plan copies need to be updated, the number of plan copies that are, requested. Or change it to only a handful of large size, but then more 11 by 17s that would go out to the board members. So that is something that we could talk about. Is the next one in your list amend 15.2.1?
No, it's amend table 1.
Yeah, table 1, okay. So I updated my own, but I didn't update yours. It's Article 15.2.1, and inside that article is table 1. So that's what that is. And this is something that got pointed out maybe a year or so ago from Josh. For those who don't recall or don't know, Josh at CMA is the kind of like the me, but for engineering. We send them, if someone comes in with a subdivision plan that involves a new road, the applicant would have to send them their proposal, and CMA reviews it and provides comment back based on our regulations. What he discovered is that table 1 is very, very out of date. There are superseding documents that might be federal, or it's just best practices and you should get in line. And he said that whole table 1 really is out of date. He gave me a few examples. I copy and pasted the exact language. He said, for example, because I asked him, I said, can you give me an example? And I copy and pasted it and put it in this document. So that is something, we actually should probably ask him to provide us guidance, because I'm not an engineer, I don't know those things, so I would think that might be something we're gonna reach out to him about.
You can find it on the site plan review, the subdivision regulations, page 60 is that table 1 that Blair's talking about, the road and driveway design and construction standards.
Dirk said that too, like the pavement types.
Yeah, they don't
think
even
Glenn
exist
said that.
anymore or something, right?
Yeah, not even,
For like decades.
Don't use that
Or
anymore.
something, yeah.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
so do we want to have a table like that in here, or do we just say per engineer?
I could ask him what his recommendation is.
Yeah.
And he could say, well, these communities do it this way, these communities do it this way. He could probably give us some guidance on this, yeah. And then I could do a little background research myself and kind of come to you with something.
Okay.
But I would not want to be the one to do it. I would think we
I think
reach
that's
out to them.
Yeah.
out of all of our depths.
Yeah, exactly. The next one on my list is about the appendix on fire cistern specifications. So we used to require that it be a poly plastic, but we've been strongly advised to allow concrete. It's pretty standard, and I think there was even a willingness by this board to do that, and we allowed it for somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
for the
right.
concrete guys.
Yeah, for the concrete.
Yeah, right.
No,
It made no sense. That like.
yeah, it was like, you guys fail? You guys fail, please let us know.
You know, we got extras of these sitting around, like we just wanna throw one in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the first design that this town saw, first installation of one, just didn't work. I don't think it was installed properly or anything else. But
something went
it was
bad.
like, put in a big tank. It just was the way it was worded at that point.
Right, yeah, put in a big tank.
Yeah, the big tank.
Okay, so it would simply be, you could still allow someone to do plastic and have
Yeah.
regulations, but allowing concrete. Again, if we do choose this, we might wanna make sure that we get some kind of blessing from the fire chief. But I think that this is something we should absolutely do. The next one is just, I think it's like basically a Scrivener's error. There's a bad reference. And so just changing that reference. The next one is You know, we did the same thing with multifamily. We went from multifamily as a singular word to a hyphenated word because we had conflicting ones throughout the document. So let's just try to get something consistent. So we go to as-built, again, for the same reason. I can go the other way. If you want to do two separate words, I'm fine with that. Doesn't make a difference to me. I see it more commonly as a dashed word, but I just think we should be consistent in the two documents. So this is amend text on and add to add reference to FEMA flood insurance rate maps, including proper dates. I think you mentioned FEMA maps in your in those two documents is what I'm saying here, but you don't have the dates and you don't reference the flood insurance study. They're trying to be very particular that you reference both maps and the study because they go hand in glove. So I don't have specific sections referenced in there. It's just sort of a blanket catch-all. So I'll go back through and find those.
And would that be best handled by parentheses latest?
No, this is best handled by putting the date in.
So every time we get a new issue, we have to go back in.
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, they specifically told us that because it's an entirely new study. It's not an amendment of a previous one.
Right.
So you can't adopt it as and say as amended. So that kind of is a catch-all. You have to do a new adoption and reference the specific thing. All you're doing in this case is referencing the same one that's in the zoning ordinance because the maps haven't changed yet. I just don't think you have any references to it in the site plan or subdivision regulations is what I'm saying. And also, if you do, it might only mention the maps. It doesn't mention the study, which is equally as important, almost more important.
So we would have to update zoning each time.
Each time new maps get created, but that happens once every 10 years. Yeah, that's not a frequent thing at all. So then jumping down to subdivision only, there's some floaters in the table of contents. It says text not required. It says error not found. So just kind of cleaning that up, getting it out of there.
Oh, yeah.
15.1.2, this says, it says driveway shall be established by easement, but that conflicts with the zoning ordinance, which requires fee simple. So we should change the regs to match the zoning. There's an incorrect reference to a sub-article. I say this a lot, best practice is to minimize references back to other parts. It's implied, but references do help the reader. Referencing a specific number and then things get changed and now you're out of order. There's better ways to do it, but in this case, it does reference an incorrect sub-article, so we should change that. And then in the site plan review, the Article 1 authority is a conflict because it says that it's for, I've given the exact quote, shall be applied to development of tracts, non-residential and for multifamily units which are defined as any structure containing more than 2 dwelling units per structure. Did I misread this? A second here.
See a typo on the second line of the authority part too.
What is
It
that?
says henceforth know as the board instead of henceforth known as the board.
Okay.
Small, but probably should wrap that into the
No, yes, okay.
the list grows.
Yeah, it does. It'll keep growing. So, all right, maybe in this authority one, maybe I misread this. cause it says containing more than 2 dwelling units, I would have stated it as 3+, but okay, fine, more than 2 dwelling units. That's correct, right?
It seems to be correct.
Yeah, so I'm now gonna edit myself.
That's okay, we have another one in its place.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, so I will take care of fixing the word mistake, but yeah, ignore that one in my list. I don't know what I was thinking there. I might have just misread that.
Well, I think it's a little,
Obtuse.
I know the English language can be difficult at some points in time, but for development of tracts of non-residential uses, and then we talk about multifamily.
Yeah. Right, which is residential
Some-
uses.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
doesn't sound right there.
Yeah, so ignore that one, and then I'll make the edit that, or I'll make note of the edit that Drew just brought up. What else do you have in the site plan only in your list?
Amend 15.4, responsibility for installation, construction, incorrect reference to subarticle 15.8.10. That's the last one we've got on our list.
Okay, and then I've got, so there's that one, that's just an incorrect reference. And then I've got 2 more that I found in doing my thing, let me. Okay, so in Article 10 and Article 13, there is reference to parking requirement minimums for multifamily structures. However, the state amended the state RSA to say that you can only require, the most you can require is 1 parking space per unit. A developer is allowed to install more, but you can't require more. And I think yours says 1.5 per unit. So we do need to amend that section to become compliant with the recent state change. There was also references to mixed use in the parking requirements section that we should. The concept of mixed use was recently introduced into your zoning ordinance, and we did not do much in the way of performance standards. Because, so for example, if someone has 2 units over a commercial unit, do they need 6 acres? Because there's sort of 3 things going on there. We should try to clarify some things around mixed use. We did a good job of allowing it as a use in a couple of different districts and giving it a definition, but we should probably think about performance standards, which would include the zoning ordinance. So I don't really know where to start. I'm just sort of like drawing your attention to this as something that's probably gonna fall more on the complex side that, we'll talk about another time, but it is something for us to start considering. And then the last one is in the definitions that are in the site plan regulations, multifamily structure says not to exceed 4 units per structure. And right now, that's not the case. You do allow in your zoning up to more than 4 units. So I think we should amend the definition in the site plan section to make sure it mirrors the zoning. But there's also an argument to be made to get rid of definitions altogether in the site plan and reference anybody to the zoning ordinance for definitions.
Certainly make things easier.
Because you're gonna have to keep changing stuff. Every time you add a definition, change a definition. That is gonna take a little more thinking. I don't wanna just throw that idea out there willy-nilly. I think we should all noodle on that a little bit, but it might be a way to go. But at the very least, this definition does need to change. So those are the ones, that's what I'm talking about. Does anybody have any questions on what I've brought up? I know I just kind of slammed you all with like a lot of stuff, but is anything jumping off the page to you at this point in time?
No, it seemed like all very straightforward things for us to start with to give us a morale boost to tackle some of the harder ones that'll come afterwards, but
Yeah,
these
it's
have
like-
languished for over 10 years at this point to be updated, so it's good. It's been talked about pretty much every year, oh, we should do this, but we should make sure we actually try to do it this year. Not just try to do it, but actually do it
They
this
should
year.
actually do
Yeah.
it. And we don't wanna wait until zoning ordinance season.
Right, that's
to
usually
pick
how
this
it's
up.
happened, is we were like, in the middle of the year, and we're like, oh, we should probably look at these, and then zoning season hits, and that goes by the wayside, so getting a
Exactly.
start on it in April is good. It's good. I think we've got the will and we've got the ability to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been, we've all been curating this list to for a long time, so we've got some good starting points. And then, the zoning ordinance season usually starts up, in late summer, August, because we do the joint board meeting and a lot of things will come out of that. For the new people, we usually have, this board hosts a meeting in August that is not a hearing board, it's just a working meeting, and we bring in, or we make requests to get the zoning board in, conservation commission, and town staff to have sort of a joint powwow on not only just regulations, but just sort of the process of the regulations. And Dale's meeting in May is actually something that came out of that. There was we identified the lack of clarity around a few things, sort of post-approval and how things have to happen. And so that's one outcome. But sometimes a different board will point something out, an incongruency or a recommendation, and then this board will pursue it. So if we can start this now before we get into that, that would be good for us.
Danny, did you have a question? Okay, thought I saw you raising your hand.
So the last thing I wanna say, I just sort of put it on your radar, the more sort of complex ones. One of the things that I think we should do is think about developing a process for amending an approval. We've had requests to do this. And we don't really even have a form specific to it. And we need to figure out a process, like as far as notification of abutters, what's allowed to be amended versus sort of like what's a whole new thing. But we should start to think about allowing people to amend a site plan review approval or a subdivision approval.
Are there RSAs that govern any of those types of?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I do know that there's other people like me in SRPC that oversee Wakefield and Farmington, and they have pretty good examples. So if you're bored and wanna go see what they do, that's
that'd
where
be-
I'm gonna point you to
Okay,
as like, just sort of like our North Star to start. But yeah, I'll look into RSAs as well.
okay. Always helps if there's something to guide us.
Yeah.
I can understand a site plan review amended. I'm having trouble understanding what a subdivision approval amendment would be.
Changes to stormwater management. They might find that they start digging in the ground and they find a bunch of ledge and they wanna move it over here instead of here. It could change the alignment of the road, or it could change, where the lots are laid out. Something might have to change. There could be a condition of approval that they want to amend. A lot of times that's what it ends up being, is they want to amend conditions like, hey, we've started to think a little more about this one, it's pretty onerous, we have this suggestion, would you consider it? Now you're amending your notice of decision, now you're amending,
Yeah.
you might not even be amending a plan, you might just be amending the notice of decision to remove a condition or edit it. We have had requests like that. I'm drawing a blank on recent ones.
No, that's good, that works.
Seems worth discussing.
Just a couple more before we go. Oh,
You have 1
the
minute.
states, I know.
1 minute.
Oh, shoot. The state, there's a section called active and substantial. It's basically like at certain intervals of completion of your project, for complex projects, you gain more control over your site, meaning like the board can't do anything, the town can't do anything, you can't change a regulation that affects you. The state made changes around when those trigger milestones happen. They made it more friendly towards the developer, so we do need to change our sections. And our section was kind of poorly done to begin with, so this is a good opportunity. I mentioned mixed use. We talked about stormwater management regulations, that are in both. We might wanna think about amending those. And then there's a whole big section on bonding, surety, and guarantees. We use all three different words. The state changed the process about when you can require it. And so we need to amend our regulations to meet that, but then it's also a good opportunity to clarify a lot of things, because there are through some recent projects, we've kind of seen where there's some gray area. And Dale's thing on the 9th is also to talk about this as well.
The
So-
12th.
Or the 12th, excuse me. So we wouldn't even touch this particular one until after Dale's thing, but again, just putting it on radar. That's it.
Nice. All right. Anything else from the board before we adjourn?
The last thing I would say is anybody that has anything else that you see, send me an email. And draw it to my attention. If you're going through it and you see something that looks weird, send it to me.
And we have a Mylar to sign, right?
Yes, one Mylar. That's
Okay.
correct.
All right. It is 8:16. This meeting is adjourned.